Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Stargirl Season 2, Episode 4, Summer School, Chapter 4. I am very excited to see where the show goes next. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, along with all my reactions, and right now is the perfect time to sign up to anybody's Patreon because it's the first day of the month. So yeah, without further ado, let's go.
I miss you.
She's just a kid.
Week after that. Week after that.
God, there's no need to enjoy yourself so much with a kid whose parents are in prison. It's not like she's a hardened criminal, she's just a kid who may well become a supervillain, but she's not there yet.
Hey, honey. Oh.
Good job her parents pay absolutely no attention to her.
They came really close to calling it quits.
They always had a good crowd. Wonder what happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's trying to
Doing the same thing
talk
myself.
about the parents' relationship.
They're back in business. Bye, Mom.
I know this is an impossible situation, my love, but ask them, just come out with it. The agony of wondering and waiting is always worse than the finding out the truth. Even if finding out the truth is terrible, at least you have an answer.
You know, I thought you should know everything.
It's scary.
She should know everything.
Why, Pat?
You need to tell them.
So.
If you think they're able to be superheroes, you need to trust them with information too.
He's the devil in the shadows.
Don't worry. We got this.
Sweetheart, you are like a
No, Mom.
15-year-old. Maybe you've turned 16, I don't know. She's gonna worry. You could be 58. She'd still worry.
Hitting the books. I won't rush in, Mom.
That's not a promise you tend to be able to keep, sweetheart. But it's one you should keep.
Love you.
Say it back.
This isn't really about your stepmother.
It's controlling you.
Please, don't hurt me.
Now.
Get rid of this rock. It's not worth it. I know it's sunk its claws in deep. It might be too late, but...
Listen, you need to turn it down a notch, Missy, okay? Or else I'm not going to be accepting any more of those collect calls from the penitentiary. You got it?
That is no way to treat someone. It's one thing if you can't get, like...
What am I supposed to do for fuel? Just up, and I got a nail appointment to get to.
She shouldn't be a foster carer. She clearly doesn't care. It's one thing if maybe the money doesn't stretch to cover expensive items or something, but you try. And if you're going to foster like 5 kids, then that kind of person, they need to be stopped from being foster parents. But we're already at a point where I guess there aren't enough foster parents that then they just let them do whatever they want. She is definitely... I mean, she's clearly got superpowers. I don't think you need fuel, sweetheart. You're superpowered.
Married felons break out of prison.
Holy shit.
Are you sport?
Oh god.
No, what can I say?
Here's a tip.
He's a baby!
Run from us.
Thanks.
Yeah. No problem.
They do. I feel bad for her because she's struggling because of her
I'm really sorry
parents.
for the situation that you're in.
And we don't forget.
Well, Courtney was trying to help you. Like, it's not fair her being a sportswoman because she's clearly got superpowers and that does put her over, give her an edge.
Well, Mr. Tyler, it seems as if you've done it again. Another perfect score.
Good for you, Rick. Is she gonna apologise?
Told you. I studied.
I'm proud of you, Rick.
And Mr. Tyler, I'm sorry I doubted you.
Thank you.
It's just...
What everyone does.
Teachers should be better.
It's okay.
Rick! I'm so proud of him for coming back and retaking the test, putting the teacher in her place, and then being so sweet about it. I just want to give him a hug. I will adopt these children if they need homes. Don't be such easy pickings for her. You're better than her.
Do you want to be my friend?
Oh, you shouldn't be doing this alone, though I get where you are. I get where you are. That is a really not secure place to keep your super duper robot, I'm afraid, sweetheart.
Crusher, what are you doing here?
We...
You really stuck that landing.
Oh my god, they're so weird. I forgot how weird they were.
Straight back to your...
Be halfway to Miami by now.
As if you'd leave your kid when you were that devoted to her.
We didn't come.
We could be friends.
Buds.
Well, then let my son go.
I mean, you wouldn't want the world to know about your little robot, would you?
I mean, I think the most pressing thing is that you have his son. They are so... I forgot just how weird her parents were.
They broke out of prison just to see their kids.
I mean, they are that weird.
That's what crocked me. I have no idea. They're crazy.
But if Mike is safe,
Eclipso?
call the police.
Eclipso.
You tried to kill her, lady.
I like this. I always felt like we were on the road to becoming good friends.
What happened?
You're a supervillain.
I mean, I kind of
Or an
felt that way
average villain.
myself. I think the
These
You let your
people.
children eat processed foods?
You cannot talk. You have... Your actions have let your daughter be raised by in a foster family.
Unstoppable.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say.
Stop bonding with these weirdos.
And I like that she's driven, but as a mom, it's frustrating.
We've exhausted the library, so I'm gonna go to the used bookstore to see if we can find anything else.
I'll keep trying to get Chuck back online. Maybe he can help us open the file.
Putting the hustle in, I like it.
I've got to feed the dog. Can I get
What kind of dog did you get?
a big one?
Tell them, my love. I would not have come down to the creepy place with this girl. Like, he is a strange boy to agree to it, but then I just like one down, it would seem. This is so creepy.
A supervillain team up.
Does he want to stop it? Because if he really is trying to do something good, then join them.
I've been called wicked more than once. A law broken here.
Okay, cool. Well, being bad is still not good.
Why would you do that?
Stop being so mysterious.
To me.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't want a bunch of kids helping, but I would be like forthcoming with my information. They would see them and recognize them. The police would so have people watching the daughter just in case. Even if the majority of the manhunt was going elsewhere, you'd still think they used to be devoted parents. Pat, I wouldn't sit with them. They are literally giving themselves away right now. How has nobody else noticed them, including the coaches? Because I do feel bad for her with her parents being in prison, and of course she's going to think they're innocent, but I don't want her to join Cindy's team. Oh lord. Leave her alone.
I've got them in my sight. Eyes on the targets. Moving into position.
Holy shit. Oh. God, that could ruin her whole life. Come on, you know what the stone does. Think about it. So she's making sure Artemis' life is messed up so that she'll be easy to manipulate. Cindy.
It has to be goodbye.
Holy shit. She might still want to see you from time to time. Even if, yes, she needs to heal from this. I really want her to join our team and not Cindy's.
Why do I feel bad for them?
If you can feel bad for her, and they are parents that love their kid.
Did you know that Eclipso killed Dr. McNider's daughter?
How do you know that?
I'm guessing he tried not to scare them.
I'll scare you.
I'm not scared.
She should be.
What do you want?
Artemis, be stronger than this. You can get the next scout.
It's his loss.
Did you tell Courtney everything?
No. Do you think I should?
Ooh. Tell me everything.
She'll never be the same either. I mean, none of the kids will.
Do they deserve to know before they find out some other horrible way?
No, it's past curfew.
I love the staff.
Anything else? Maybe the shade will.
Oh, Courtney! What happened to I'm not going to do anything reckless?
I've been trapped in the shadows.
Wait. Are you the real Dr.
Oh my goodness.
Dr. Midnight is alive.
Is he trapped in the diamond with the
Hello? Are you there?
Holy shit. Is he Eclipso? Are they the same person? Is that the truth? But then why did he kill his daughter? I want to know what this other truth is. Don't tell me if you know, because I want the show to tell me. I want to know so badly. Like, my current theories are one of two things. Number one is potentially Dr. Manida is trapped in the diamond with Eclipso, or he is Eclipso and maybe he was misleading the JSA and maybe they made mistakes and did things that they weren't supposed to do because he was in their heads. I don't know. We do still need to know what happened to the diamond, how did it get to Blue Valley, and all that side of things. I do definitely think it's gonna be... I need to know. I don't know what I definitely think. Don't know where that sentence was going. I'm really... What would destroy Courtney and the kids? Finding out that the JSA did bad things because they were misled? Finding out that one of the members of the JSA they've looked up to so much, especially Beth, was actually Eclipso? Finding out that the JSA trapped one of their own and left him behind? I mean, during that big fight, the Shade went up against Dr. Midnight. Now, did the Shade, like... Was he completely under the sway of Eclipso, and so the Shade, like, put him in a world of shade to keep the world safe from him? I'm really intrigued about everything there, and I can't wait to find out more. Did the Shade actually help the JSA in that fight or something? Because the Shade, and as people mentioned in the comments, and the Shade definitely seems that he's not a evil person, but he's not a good guy either. I don't know what his many crimes are. I don't know how, like, bad he's gotten, but the fact that I believe him when he says he wants to destroy the diamond and would never work with it. And the last episode, when he was totally alone and there was no one else around, he seemed concerned that it would destroy the kids. So I am really intrigued about his character, even though he's so creepy, and he just needs to stop creeping, be a little bit less, you know, mysterious, and maybe things would go along a lot smoother. But I am proud of the kids for the way they are doing the hard work, they're doing the groundwork, they are finding the information they need, so that they can find whatever they can. And yeah, Pat needs to tell them everything, because if it hurts, telling them now, before so it's not in the middle of a big battle, it's not in some tense showdown with the villain, it is now, when you know you can get them all a milkshake and give them a hug, is the time to tell them things. Don't leave things, because obviously various people know about it. Whatever this thing is, the fact that she's not talking to the real guy, McNider knows the truth, the Shade knows the truth, I imagine Eclipso knows the truth, if he's not the same person as one of the ones I've already said. So they're going to find out at the worst time. That's what always happens in shows, and they need to understand this and deal with it. We still haven't had the Starman turn up, whether he's the real guy or not. He is just still rocking around America, doing a road trip. I don't know. I am just so stressed about all of these kids. But I am proud of each of them in their own way. I'm proud of Beth for the fact that she is not giving up on Chuck and trying to fix the goggle, even when all hope is lost. The idea of that, of endlessly trying it again and again and again, and the thing just does not work. I know that feeling is the worst. And if that feeling is stopping you from getting someone you're close to, obviously that's going to pivot now because she's sensing the real guy rather than the goggles, so I'm really, really intrigued to find out more about that. I'm so proud of Rick for actually going back and doing the test. You know, there and then on the day, he was just like, fuck it, and walked out. And, you know, I was sort of saying not going to the summer school. I'm like, I get why, but also don't throw your future away based on one prejudiced teacher. And, you know, if ultimately Rick decides he doesn't want a future that relies on academics, I will support the boy, but that is an avenue that is clearly open to him. He clearly has the intelligence to do well academically if he wants to, as I keep saying. He needs to get the door open. So I'm so proud of him for going back and taking that test and proving that teacher wrong, that you shouldn't prejudice kids. Now, my experience of working in education, before I got sick, I was a TA in a primary school. So the kids I worked with were the little ones as well. So they weren't like proper prejudices, but you can see, you know, even at that age, you could see that the kids whose parents weren't good to them or, you know, kind of didn't care about schoolwork or whatever, it's not the kid. It doesn't reflect the kid. And the idea of, if you teach teenagers, they're still that same little kid they were once. They still have potential. So yeah, by all means, if Rick has only ever scored C's and below and suddenly he gets full marks on a test, you might need to say, look, this is a little suspicious, you know, take these 10 questions, like, you know, kind of don't treat him like she did. Her having raising a flag with it, fair enough, because if that is a completely unprecedented thing for him, yeah, it's a bit weird. And you should treat any kid the same, whether that kid comes from the most perfect family ever and, you know, is sweetness and light and the most popular kid in school, but they always get C's and suddenly get an A. Like, any kid needs to be treated the same. But I'm really glad that Rick, not only did he take the test and do it right, he was so gracious about it, which I'm proud of, because I feel like it shows growth in a sense, because it shows, like, previously he might have just continued to be, he might have never gone back to do the test, he might have been so mad. But it also hurts because when she said, you know, I shouldn't have judged you, and he was like, it's fine, everybody does, like that, oh my god, like, that's so horrible, because no kid should be totally, no kid is without promise, no kid is without hope. Teachers should be hoping to see a sign that that kid's going to come out of whatever funk they're in. And when you know his story is his parents died when he was a kid, and he's being raised by an uncle who is, to put it nice, as mildly as possible, is not there, is just, be there for these people. But I'm really, like, I'm proud of him for handling the situation, but at the same time my heart breaks for him. And I'm so glad he has this supportive group of friends. Same with Beth, because obviously she never really seemed to have many friends. Her parents, as much as she loves them and idolises them, they are literally never there for her. And it's one thing to be busy, but I think even if you're busy and you have a demanding job, you need to make time for your child. Because you had a child. And in a couple of years she will be gone from your house, so make the most of it while you can. Beth needs to sit down and actually, like, tell her parents, like, I need to sit down and talk with you, there is something urgent. You know, make them think, like, I'm going to drop out of school, or I want to join the army. You know, do something. If it has to be drastic, lie to them to get them there. And then say what you found. Sit them both down and talk about it, because I know in general the worrying, like, if I find out the truth, or if I do this thing, it's going to be so awful and painful, is terrible. But at the very least, once you've done the thing, once the horrible truth is out there or whatever, that's when you can start processing it, and it's not worrying about every possible outcome. You know the truth. And she's so sweet with trying to just, they go golfing and trying to make the metaphor and everything. I just want to give her a hug. Yolanda is not only doing summer school, but she has a job. Now, I think having a job and getting a little bit of money will hopefully help her get some independence from her parents. I'm so sad to think that nothing has changed for her in her home life. Her parents still act like she needs to go to summer school, and I imagine they suggested the job as well so that she's busy all the time. Just breaks my heart. She's such a good kid, such a sweet, kind girl, and they can't even see that. Courtney, making promises to not be reckless. I support her not being reckless, but obviously right at the end of the episode she's like, I'm gonna go find the shade. Yeah, so far he's not done anything wrong, like, too bad so far. He hasn't actually hurt anybody, but you don't know enough about him to know that he's not going to be like, this is the third time you've asked, bam, now I'm angry. I don't know. I mean, scared about where that's going to go. I'm scared in general because Cindy is back in town. I mean, not only is she back in, like, she's being seen around town, whereas before she was kind of just lurking in the shadows. I know that, like, her whole life she was very aware of everything. The fact that she killed her mother, it's not her fault that it happened, has really shaped her, and her father's both neglect and abuse has continued to shape this girl. And it's so sad to think that she can't shake it off and make her own life, that she is trying to be better as a villain than him, and she's bringing other kids down with her. The long-haired dude, he seemed like the kind of, I guess he went from being not that popular because his mum was the principal to not being that popular in general, but he has seemed to fall wholly into this web of, I've lost my parents, but this is the way I can be closer to them. Artemis is an interesting one because obviously we know she struggles a lot with her anger issues, but she hasn't ever seemed like a bad person, and she truly did believe her parents were innocent. Then when the Cindy made her think that there was like a sports team about to shoot her parents, she went for it and attacked Courtney, which lost her this scholarship. But I'm sure she's still on the team. I'm sure if she were to, another scout would come, you know. The star athletes often will have multiple schools to choose from, so she hasn't necessarily thrown it away. She could go to some anger management classes and then go to the Lincoln coach and say, look, you know, I recognise that I've had a really rough time in my personal life, but I'm working on it, or something. And, you know, I feel like there are ways and steps she could take that would turn this around. And she will have a shining future regardless of her parents. And maybe being the first female college player isn't the only path for her. Maybe she could find something else she'd rather do. But now she knows the truth about her parents. And they still love her. They are so strange. Breaking out of prison to just see the trials and then go back. She needed that. She needed to hear from them the truth because it was eating her up inside. And I think it will be doing that now in a different way. But the fact that they said, like, this is goodbye, I think she could maybe, like, if she wants to, still see you from time to time. Maybe it should be, it's up to you, we understand if this is goodbye, would be the better way to deal with it. But obviously she has no one. She doesn't think much have any real friends, and I guess that's kind of because how parents raised her to be hyper-competitive all the time. She's lost the potential scholarship, she's lost her parents, and she's lost the view she had of her parents. I just wish she could kind of think back to the olive branches Courtney has passed, handed out, and moved in that direction, but I think there is every chance she will be sucked into Cindy's web. I just really hope she's like, fuck you, I don't want to be a villain. I'm stressed, but I have hope. I still don't know how Cindy's planning to get to Mike, because I feel like the previous episode really had a lot of growth for Mike on that front. Now, yes, he's back to being powerless and not being included, but I don't know, I feel like he'll be the hardest one to work for. Obviously with the diamond, maybe that will make a difference. But this was a really good episode again. I really enjoyed seeing more of Artemis. Ever since they kind of first teased her, I really wanted to like see more of her character. Beyond her strange parents and her strange upbringing that she's endured. I'm very intrigued about, she has like super strength or something, right? Like abilities, which isn't really fair to play for sport with the other people, or is she just meant to be that freakishly good? I know nothing about American football, so I don't actually know if like that throw is possible. I know I like rugby league, but in general I feel like, yet again, this is, I know TV will often look at the worst side of things, but foster systems need to be changed. People that are only in it for the money, that don't even give the kids they're looking after the time of day, should not be foster parents. Like, yes, she drove her there, bare minimum. You know, it's one thing to not be able to say, look, I'm looking after 5 kids, sweetheart, or maybe don't call her sweetheart if she wouldn't want that, but I'm looking after 5 kids and the whey protein you want is too expensive, I can't afford it. Let's look and find some other alternatives. Or, you know, if I can't get you that, are you able to have, like, what else could I get you that is a bit cheaper? I'll give you a banana in your lunch. You know, try and find some kind of thing that is a middle ground, caring about the kids. But that woman, and clearly a lot of foster parents, are just in it for the money and they don't care about the kids, and that's so wrong, because a kid in foster care is a kid that is an extremely vulnerable place in their life, and you can play a pivotal role in shaping them, in giving them hope and belief and putting them on firm ground, or you can destroy them, and a lot of people seem to choose the wrong path. But yeah, this was a really good episode. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.